to be completely honest with y'all, like you can fool the public to a certain degree. Like you could put on a certain persona, or sometimes you even get over on the front office or people around the league. But those people in the locker room, they know who you are on an every single day basis. They know the work that you put in or the work you don't put in. They know the kind of character you are. They know the type of teammate you are. So that was never in question for my teammates. So at the end of the day, what people may have said about me on the outside never affected me at all because A, I know who I am. I know who Christ has called me to be. And B, I also know my teammates and the people who see me on an every single day basis know who I am and what I've proven to be.
The Next Man Up podcast is presented by Lansdowne Resort. From kickoff to check-in, score a game-changing getaway in the heart of Loudon. Lansdowne Resort, proud partner of the Washington Commanders.
Commanders family, welcome into Next Man Up. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr., and I'm very honored to welcome in our Next Man Up. First time on the show. First time me and you have ever sat down for an interview, period.
Facts.
Welcoming in our wide receiver number 1, Terry McLaurin. What's good, brother?
What's up, bro? I appreciate you having me.
Man, I appreciate you pulling up,
Yes,
man,
sir.
because what a year you've had.
Yeah,
What an offseason you had.
for sure.
And I know you got a story to tell, and that's what we care about here at Next Man Up. We want y'all to be able to tell y'all stories because everybody want to talk for y'all.
For
All
sure.
the media want to tell these stories,
Yeah.
but we very seldom get to hear from y'all in a space that's safe.
Right.
So this is a safe space, but we're going to start in the beginning.
For sure.
Because, again, your offseason, man, it was tough.
Yeah.
And I know it was tough for you because
Right.
you were away from your team.
Right.
And I know there's nobody that wants to be on the field more than Terry McLaurin and with his
100%.
teammates, man.
Yeah.
In your words, man, what was this offseason like for you while you were dealing
Yeah.
with the contract things and just everything going on?
Yeah, it was definitely challenging and really unexpected, honestly. Like, my plan was to be here and everything like that, but obviously, sometimes the business kind of gets in the swing of football. And so, just going through that process, I just try to take it day by day. There's really no like roadmap or because somebody did it this way, then you got to do it that way. It's just really I was really trying to lean on my faith in the Lord and listen to my support system and also just have good conversations with the people in the building to see could we come to a resolution. So it took longer than expected, but the end result ended up what we all wanted. So, I was just happy to get back, but it was definitely some unknowns going during that process, and I was just glad to get to the other side.
Man, there was so much going on. You've never been in that real position before like that. This was very different for you, right?
Definitely. Like I was in something similar like in 2022 with the previous staff, but this one definitely prolonged like through camp. And so basically missed all of camp, and that was different than last time. Like last time I think I maybe it was like leading up into camp, and then I was able to get it done, and then I was in there for camp. So this was just a little different, like missing out on the football. I was in great shape, working on the offseason. That's what I do. And but like when the football stuff and the business kind of mix like that, like it was just hard, but at the end of the day, like it worked itself out. You know what I mean? Like I was positive about it. It wasn't something that I was like dwelling on every single day, but you play this game to live out your dream, but also to be able to provide a life for your family and yourself. And each player just wants to be able to, be valued and earn their value through their performance and the other intangible things that they bring off the field too. So in the end, it ended up working out. A lot of things in life just don't go as you plan, and so you got to be able to be flexible.
And it's easy to go into a dark place with all those things because there's so much negative. There's so much
100%.
noise. But I saw a positive in it because while you're going through this, while you're not around, while you're not even to speak for yourself,
Right.
you got guys in the building that's speaking for you. You got
100%.
Jaden Daniels speaking for you.
Yeah.
You got Santana Moss going on ESPN saying, pay that man.
Yeah.
To me, that spoke to the man that you are because it's easy to turn your back on somebody that you feel like isn't there, right? That didn't happen here, man.
Yeah.
What was that support like for you and love that you got from your teammates, from the legends and the people that truly know who Terry is?
I think that's a great point. Like it allowed me to really be centered when I was going through this process because on the outside looking in, not a lot of people know like the ins and outs of what goes on with a contract and what both sides are going through, my side and the business side, the front office and everything like that. And, at certain times you kind of feel alone in it, especially when you want to, you just want to play football. But at the end of the day, to have the support from my teammates meant everything to me because I was somebody who I've kind of always shouldered the burden on myself. I've been the leader. I've been the guy who's supporting people or picking them up. So it was a different space to where I needed to lean into support a little bit more. Like I didn't, every day wasn't a day where I could just feel so great and feel like I had it all together. And so to have the support from my teammates meant everything, because you can't fool, like, to be completely honest with y'all, like, you can fool the public to a certain degree. Like, you could put on a certain persona, or sometimes you even get over on, the front office or people around the league. But those people in the locker room, they know who you are on an every single day basis. They know the work that you put in or the work you don't put in. They know the kind of character you are. They know the type of teammate you are. So that was never in question from my teammates. So at the end of the day, what people may have said about me on the outside never affected me at all, because A, I know who I am. I know who Christ has called me to be. And B, I also know my teammates and the people who see me on every single day basis know who I am and what I've proven to be. And so to have their support and knowing that everything that I was pushing for and trying to get done, like, they were fully in support of, and they were like, you deserve it. And so when you have those type of people backing you who know you, like, people on the outside necessarily don't mean as much. So at the end of the day, it ended up working out, and I think it was just tough. You miss out on the camaraderie. You know what I mean? Like, I was in the building, but I'm rehabbing. I'm trying to work on the business side, but you miss being out there at practice. You know what I mean? You missed the energy there, the team travels when they went to New England, the preseason game. That's all part of the team building that you kind of miss out on. So part of it, you kind of just feel like you're missing out. But I was constantly supported by guys telling me that, like, I'm really a part of this team and they can't wait for me to be back. So and then to have guys like Tana, you know what I mean, to have my back. Like, he's had my back since I've been here. So he didn't have to say what he said, especially on a public platform like that. So I just really appreciate that. But also, he was telling the truth. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I don't think people stick their neck out and vouch for you if there's not any truth or support behind that.
For sure.
And so for people to go out on their own to say that about me and to have my back really meant a lot.
And you earned that, though, right? Because
100%.
again, by being a solid person, like you said, we
100%.
see you every day.
Yeah.
So we would know if you weren't solid,
For
but
sure.
we know how solid you are, and it was just great to see that. And you got what you deserved. You
Appreciate
got your
it.
bag.
Yes,
You
sir.
make it back on that field. But since sometimes when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
Because you get back on that field, and then very quickly,
Yeah.
you suffer an injury that takes you off the field again, man. With the offseason you had,
Yeah.
with missing being on that field with your teammates, man, how
sure.
tough was it to be like, dang, I
Yeah.
have another obstacle to get over?
Yeah, that was really hard, because I thought once I got through the contract situation, I was just ready to get, all right, we ready for the season. And I felt good going into the season. And, I feel like the quick turnaround with Green Bay didn't necessarily help the situation. But at the same time, like, injuries are a part of the game. I just think the timing of mine was unfortunate, because leading up to this process, like, guys really blessed me, and I've been extremely healthy, and I've never missed this amount of time of football in my entire life. And so it was definitely a new challenge, and it allowed me to see a different side of being kind of broken physically, but being poured into, like, spiritually and mentally and other areas in my life that helped me become better when I step back on the field. And so, the injury was really tough, because it was a pretty significant injury to my quad, and something that just was very unexpected. But I just tried to take a day-by-day approach and just get back as quick as I can. But at the same time, like, you don't feel like yourself when you're out. You know what I mean? You was out with the contract and, the ankle stuff, and then you miss a time with the quad. So it was just a lot of ups and downs. But, like, man, my faith really grew during that time. Like I really found joy in the midst of difficulty. And I think I was somebody whose my circumstances sometimes dictated my happiness. And I think there's a difference sometimes between happiness and joy that I've learned. Happiness is sometimes more dictated on your circumstances, if things are going good or things are going bad. I think joy is something that's deep within, that comes truly from a spiritual gift from the Lord, that no matter what my circumstances look like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be okay. And he's going to continue to provide for me like he always has. And so, again, it was just a time that I really leaned into my support system, and they really picked me up, because it was very unknown territory, from the contract to being hurt. There was two things that, A, I never anticipated, and B, I've never been through. But to be honest, like, I wouldn't trade it. Like, I wouldn't change anything, because I wouldn't be sitting here today with a new perspective, with a new sense of just peace and gratitude. Not because of, like, the money that I got or my ability to get back on the field. I think it was just, like, seeing myself grow through tough times, allowing other people to see me go through tough things, and they see I still coming in this building with a smile on my face. I'm still supporting the young guys and my teammates when I'm not out there, and I'm still being a presence while I'm on this team, and not letting my circumstances get me down. So I can't take all that credit. I definitely give that credit to God and my support system. And, it was just good to finally, step back out there.
And I appreciate you being honest and open about
sure.
that, because I think a lot of people don't realize, like, they understand, like, okay, he's found a way to get back.
Yeah.
He's found a way to recover. He's found a way to still smile.
Yeah.
But in order to find that joy, in order to find that faith, you got to get to some dark places,
100%.
man. You got to go through some things. You got to go through doubt. You got to go through sadness. Why me? In your road to recovery, man, how did you keep yourself from getting to those dark places? I know you leaned on your faith. I know you leaned on the people that you love. But again, that's a lot easier said than done when you're dealing with it in real time.
I think I gave myself space to be human too. Like, I believe that we're all blessed with human emotions, and so there was days I'd be a little more frustrated than others. There's be days I felt disappointment or feel like, am I going to be able to get back to the level that I feel like I can to get back to this season? And you kind of allow those feelings to, like, you sit with them, but you don't dwell in them. I think once I feel those feelings, like, I kind of lean into my support. I'm a very big advocate for, therapy. I've been seeing a therapist for 4 years now, and that's really helped, me cognitively as well to deal with my circumstances. So I think when you go through difficulty, it's really important to find a system that is healthy, that allows you to work through those difficulties so you get to the other side without losing yourself. And just know, like, giving yourself grace to have bad days, and know, like, it's not going to always be perfect, but also realizing that the Lord has brought you through the first time. He's the same God that had you on the mountaintops, and he's the same God that brought you through the last valley. So when I have that type of perspective and I have the support that I have, I just knew it was just about God's timing. And I think it allowed me to really surrender to the process and not try to rush it, and just each day was something different. Each day was a new gift or new joy or something that in my rehab process I wasn't able to do on a Monday, but by that Friday it was a step in the right direction. So it's just being very grateful of the small wins along the process of getting back to ultimately getting back on the field.
And I gotta imagine this locker room, this building, watching you go through this in real time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parallels to what the team's going through this season, right? Things didn't go the way they expected.
100%.
Things aren't going the way we expected, but getting able to watch you get through those valleys, get through those hard times, get through those dark times, now you're back.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get back on that field, you make your impact felt, man.
100%.
How have you been able to help these young guys and to help the Jaden Daniels, the guys that have never been through these type of hard times in the NFL? How have you been able to help them get through this season that did not go how any of us expected?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, because I'm 7 years in the league, and I feel like I've seen it all. You know what I mean? I've been last year.
Here.
Yeah, especially here. You know what I mean? Being in one place, I've seen it all, from the highs of winning to the lows of losing. My rookie year, we won 3 games. You know what I'm saying? So I've been in this space before, and the parallel between what I was going through personally, I think it gave me perspective to be able to bring that into this locker room and into my meeting room with the receivers as life. You know what I mean? Like, when you go, like, what we're going through as a team, the season not going the way we want, adversity with injuries, ups and downs, like, that's life. You know what I mean? And so what are you going to do in those situations? You really have one or two choices. You can give up and feel sorry for yourself, or you can surrender to what the process is and learn from it. But also, like, I think you can't allow the circumstances what you're going through to change who you are. Like, if you're a person who's a leader, if you're a person who's a hard worker, if you're a consistent person, you have to be that all the time. It's easy to do that when you're winning and things are great. But when things aren't going your way, how are you responding? Are you still putting the same time and working on your body? Are you still watching the same film? Are you still being a great teammate and spending time with the guys in the locker room? The great thing about that is we have those type of guys in this locker room, and it's just about put it out there on the field and finishing football games. You know what I mean? And over the last few weeks, we're putting ourselves last week wasn't a great showing, obviously, but the week before that, we put ourselves in a situation to win, and we just didn't come out on the winning side. So I think just coming back, I was really of the mindset of just trying to bring the best version of myself. I felt very, free coming back, because I was in a space of, okay, I missed a lot of the offseason, with the contract stuff. I've missed time with my quad, to a certain degree, what can go worse? You know what I mean? You honestly get to a space of, I think we get I'll speak for myself. Sometimes the fear of the unknown can have you shaken. But once you go through that worst scenario and you see that you're okay, that God's carry you, like, it gives you strength to be able to handle the next obstacle. Because guess what? Like, football-wise, like, you may lose another game. You know what I mean? In life, you're going to go through another challenge. What I went through this past year, 2025, like, I'm going to go through other challenges in my life. But what I learned through this season of my life and in this season of football is going to carry me to next season and also the next challenges that come in my life. And so I'm better off for it. And so that's why, you really come out stronger on the other side when you go through adversity. And so now I don't really resist it as much as I used to when I was a little younger in the league or just a younger person. You know, being 30 years old now, I have a wisdom about me. But wisdom comes from challenges. It comes from adversity. And so I haven't been able to do this alone. And I think that's the challenge that I try to tell people moving forward. Like, you can't go through this life alone. Like, we were born and put on this earth for communion, for fellowship, and just to be able to help people and to serve others. And so during this time, I found myself being served and serving others. And so I think it's allowed me to have those type of conversations with younger guys of this their first year in the league. And, you know, it's a lot going on. And Jaden going through his injury, him and I have had unbelievable conversations just off the field about how, you know, he's a man of faith, of how we get to the other side and grow and be better lights of who God has called us to be and what we're going through. Because oftentimes what you go through is, it's for you to grow, but it's also for you to be able to take what you've gone through and help the next person.
Yeah, Terry, we appreciate your honesty and vulnerability. It's so great to see you back on that field, man, because we know you worked hard to get there. And in closing, we still got a season. We still got games left, man. We got 100%. The New York Giants. Now, we call Tanner the Giant Slayer, but we were looking at your numbers against the Giants. My guy, you get busy against the Giants as well. Just give a message to the fans, not only to the fans, but just to all of us on what the locker room is feeling right now as we head to NFC East opponent in the New York Giants, and what can we expect from our Commanders against the Giants?
Yeah, I think when you step into NFC East football, and I think the way the schedule is curated this year, we finished the last 4 games with NFC East opponents. And I've always said, like, the record really doesn't matter when you come into the NFC East. Like, the best team that day is going to win the football game. You know what I mean? I've been on teams where we may have the better record than the other team and we lost. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And so I think this mindset of this team right now is to come out with a physicality that's going to be able to withstand 4 or 5 quarters. Being able to take care of the football, because we're in December now and we don't know what kind of weather we're going to get. It's going to be cold. You know what I mean? So taking care of the football, and then on a defense standpoint, like, the other offense, they may be feeling cold too. So there's a great opportunity to try to create turnovers with physicality, punching at the football, getting turnovers with interceptions and stuff like that. So just creating, like, being able to function and control chaos. I think that is the teams that have success in the NFC East. And so with the Giants going on the road, you know, we know they're going to be a tough opponent. They're a scrappy team. You know, Jackson Dart has given their team a lot of energy. And, you know, they still have a really strong front on their defense, and their back end plays off of that. So we know it's going to be 4 or 5 quarters where we got to go out there and take this game. Like, it's not going to be given to us at all. But I think we got to play a lot better complementary football. And so that's our goal this week, to first take care of the football, create turnovers, and play complementary football. That means scoring in the red zone if we're on offense, defense, creating some 3-and-out situations, and flipping the field if you're on special teams. You know what I mean? Really playing like a downhill style of football, but it's going to start with the physicality. And I think we all know that. So I think that's why today, you know what I mean, we're late in December, or we're in December, and we're full pads ready to go today. You know what I mean? Because that's the type of football that it takes to have success in the NFC East.
Terry, we appreciate you, bro. Congratulations on all your success, man. Congratulations on making it back on that field, man.
Sir.
We're so happy to have you and a leader like you. And
Thanks,
hope you enjoyed your first time on Next
Most
Man Up, man. Don't
definitely.
be a stranger. Hope it wasn't too bad.
No, it was great, bro. I appreciate you.
Commanders family, our Next Man Up, our wide receiver 1, and our leader of this offense, Terry McLaurin. Appreciate your time, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
Commanders family, we hope you have been enjoying Next Man Up. But before we go any further, we have to pay some bills. Now, Events DC is a proud partner of the Washington Commanders. Events DC is the premier host of meetings, entertainment, sporting, and cultural events in the nation's capital.
From the Walter E. Washington Convention Center to Care First Arena, we create experiences that entertain, employ, serve as an economic engine, and elevate guests from around the world. See how we make DC happen at eventsdc.com. Hey Marylanders, play multi-match from the Maryland Lottery, Maryland's only in-state jackpot game. A $2 ticket gives you a chance to win a jackpot starting at $500,000. Drawings Mondays and Thursdays. And remember, please play responsibly. They say your work defines who you are. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you are clocking in. But what happens on the weekend? What happens to your time? You could take it easy, or you could use your time to get better. In the U.S. Army, we think differently. Your time should be used to improve the skills you do have, to learn some you don't, to push yourself in new ways, because it's those days that truly define who you are. That's how you make progress. That's how you make impact on the world around you. It's your time. How you spend it is up to you. It's your time, the U.S. Army Reserve. Commanders family, back to the show.
Now for our next man up, we have a legend that joined us last season, but is coming back for more, has been doing more media stuff with us, and is one of the best Washington wide receivers to ever grace the field. Welcome in my guy, Gary Clark. Gary, how you doing, brother?
What's up, BC? What's happening, man?
Hey, man, I'm happy for your time, man. I appreciate you, man. You know, we have a current big-name wide receiver on the show, so I said I had to match him with the best we had available, man, and that is you, Gary Clark, man. Like Gary and Terry, man, it's a beautiful combination, and I personally know how much you value and appreciate what Terry does on that field.
100%. I'm so glad to see that he's back and back out playing. And as soon as he came back onto the field, he made an immediate, impression on the team, showing that, when Terry's on the field, good things happen. So I'm glad to see that he's back in action, and I only wish he would have been able to come back sooner.
And I feel like you have a different appreciation of everything Terry has been through this year, from the contract negotiations to getting back on the field, from dealing with injuries, from coming back again. You have been in those shoes. You have gone through all of those things and more. What was it like watching Terry navigate through all of this? Because again, he's not just a great man on the field. He's clearly a great man off the field as well.
It's so true. What I loved about Terry, there's a lot of guys who don't want to say milk their injury, but someone's go ahead and say it, milk their injury. And Terry's not that guy. Terry came back as soon as he can humanly possible for him to come back. He came back and played. Obviously, he has a strong pain threshold that allows him to do those things. And what I love about the guy is he understands the game of football. He understands his position extremely well. Again, I'll go on the record saying I think he's one of the top 5 receivers in the National Football League, without a doubt. And I don't care about the other 4, be quite honest. I mean, he goes out and he plays hard. Great leadership. He has all the quality that you want in your captain on a football team.
And you would know that. I look at Washington and all the legends and the people that are currently here too. This is one of them places where some of the best wide receivers have rocked the burgundy and gold. They've played for us. And I want to take it back a little bit because we haven't got a chance to talk about it, at least not on this platform, was Art Monk's jersey retirement. Because to me, it was so special to see him honored that way. But it was even more special to see the Posse back together. You, Art Monk, and Ricky Sanders. And y'all took the time to grace us with y'all presence on Game Day Live, which to me, out of all the things I've gotten to do in my career, being to sit there with y'all and do that interview with y'all on Game Day Live, phenomenal, man. I'll never forget it. It's not something I take for granted, especially because I don't remember the last time I've seen all 3 of you guys do an interview in that regard. Do you remember the last time y'all 3 had gotten together like that and did an interview like that?
It's been a long, long time, to be quite honest. I mean, we probably have done it since we all retired, but I can't tell you when. That's how long ago it must have happened for us to all 3 be in the same room. But it was a great weekend for Art Monk. So glad to see that, what we all knew should happen finally happened under this administration. So it was a great opportunity for us to get back and personally showcase to Art how much we love him, it's great to be able to be on the field with him at the same time, how much pressure he took off of myself and Ricky, and hopefully we took pressure off of him as well when it came to playing that position at receiver. And it was just a great weekend. It was just a great weekend. His family was there. It was just a great time. And the fans came out, the night before. The fans came out and celebrated, at the MGM. So I mean, it was quite the weekend. You know, it'd have been great if we got a win. Of course, I'd have made it spectacular. But since we didn't get a win, it still made the weekend spectacular because we had Art Monk in the house.
And it's wild to even think that y'all had not been together in those regards, like doing those interviews and things like that. Because from my vantage point, when I looked at y'all and watched y'all, I said, oh, here's that chemistry they had on the field. This is the trio right here. It felt like when I'm watching you guys, like that chemistry is just never going anywhere. Does it feel like that sometimes for you being in it in those moments where you look to your right, you look to your left, and you got your boys right there like it was back in the day?
Yeah, it's like everything tends to always just kind of fall back into place, you know. Art being quiet and smiling, but still the leader. Me doing the majority of the talking because that's what I did at the time. And Ricky Sanders with his spectacular self, just being there to um, showcase to Art and to those around for that weekend how special the posse really was. I mean, to this day, and this is not, I'll be bluntly honest. Everybody knows I'm a bluntly honest person. There's no trio that's been, just haven't been there yet. It just hasn't. I've been some great trios out there. Don't get me wrong. There've been some great players out there, but nothing to the ability of what the three of us was able to do on the football field. I mean, at any given time, one of us was going to be open. It's just what it was. Our quarterback always had an option. Always had an option.
And I think that when you look at the way the game's changed today, I don't know if you'll ever see a trio like that, at least not for an extended period of time, because guys is out here getting their money, guys is out here getting bags. They want to be the top paid wide receiver. It is so hard to find that, right? Like you look at the Bengals and they got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but they weren't able to keep the trio going, man. Do you think there'll ever be wide receiver trios like that again with such a changing and ever-evolving game? Because I know you stay very, very closely tapped into the game still.
I think it could be. I think it all happens. It all depends on the head coach. To be quite honest, I think the head coach has a lot to do with this. When Joe was here, the three of us stayed together. When Joe left, the three of us broke up. I mean, that's kind of how it was. I mean, um, and don't get me wrong, all NFL players, they deserve to have the best salary that they can have, the most that they can get. But we always willing to take a cut and pay when we was playing together, just so to make sure that all three of us was able to generate revenue for one another. And we all three, like myself and Ricky, you know, we just kind of aligned ourselves because we wanted to play together and we wanted to play for Joe. It came down and we really wanted to play for Joe and we wanted to win more Super Bowls. And we knew that the only way we could do that is that the three of us stayed together as well. Because by the end of our careers in Washington, the passing game was first, the running game was second, and the posse was the first course meal. Just what it was. You know, you couldn't. I mean, it's hard to believe that you can't single us. You just couldn't. You was dead if you tried to. One of us would be open. You know, like when you got receivers who take it as an insult if you don't at least double team them, you take it as an insult. That tells you how good your receiving core is because they just, if you double Art and don't double me, I'm like, are you idiots? And if you double me and don't double Art, Art's like, what are you idiots? You double us and don't double Ricky. Ricky's like, in a nice way, why would you do that? He's not going to call you an idiot because Ricky's just not that way. But I mean, celebrating Art Monk is always a great thing. I'm so glad that he finally had his jersey officially retired. I mean, no one's really wore his jersey since he stopped playing. But to have it officially retired was a big deal and it's well deserved. And I'm glad he was able to have that happen to him while he's still here with us. That's always great to get your accolades in while you're still with us. You know, it's great to get it no matter what, but any accolade I get, I want to be breathing to enjoy it. I don't get me wrong. I'll be fine if you get it after I'm passed, but I would rather have it while I'm still breathing. And it's nice to see Art Monk got to have it while he's still here with us.
Nice to have your flowers when you're still around to smell it. And I got to run back a little bit because you said something I thought was very interesting. I want you to elaborate on it because you said it was about the coach. And you said once Coach Gibbs was gone, we were gone. We broke. What about Coach Gibbs? What about the change when he does leave? What affected y'all to make it like that? Because I think that is such a great perception of what happened with you all. And I love when I talk to the legends, and especially the way that they herald Coach Gibbs and the things that they talk about and the things they give him credit for. I find it very interesting that you gave him credit for keeping you guys together.
I mean, just the respect we all had for Joe. You know, when you see a person who understands players' personality, and you can't treat everybody the same because we're all different players. Everybody has a different type of personality. He understood our personality. He knew there were certain things he could say to me that he could not say to Art or Ricky. Certain things he could say to Art that he could not say to me. He knew how to motivate each one of us in a different way. And that's why we were such a good team all those years, quite honestly. He understood how to let us manage the strategies that he gave us and let us tweak them to make them game ready. And anytime you have a person who's willing to, like at the time, he was considered the best coach in the NFL. He just was. He was considered the best coach in the NFL. And to have somebody who's willing to allow players to tweak their strategy because he knows each player's position, they play it a certain way, that's huge because, football's not something that you can just put into a hole. It doesn't fit that way. It doesn't fit that way. Everybody's not the same player. That's why when Terry's on the field, you get a different feeling when he's on the field because he's a different vibe. I'm not saying that the next guy's not as good or bad as Terry. I'm saying it's just a different vibe that Terry has when he's on the field. There's certain things that you can expect Terry to do that automatically he does. As soon as he came back, automatically he did what we see him do all the time that he's on the field. He brings a type of emotion and passion to the game that players thrive to. When Terry plays good, the team plays good. And the same thing when the Posse played well, 9 out of 10 times, if we all played well, that's a win. That's a W coming into the column, just what it was, and having a coach who understood that, who understood not to break us up, understood that this is what we're going to do. And as soon as they tried to break us up, I left and I went to Arizona. As soon as they told me, Art was not going to be the starting receiver, and nothing against Desmond. Desmond's a good guy, good person, great analyst and all of that, but he ain't us. Never was. Just what it is. I mean, great return guy. I mean, they should have used him as a return guy, but then you got B. Mitchell. What are you going to do with that? He would have been a much better player on a different team. He'd have been a much better player on a different team because he wouldn't have had a set. He would have got to play immediately. He didn't get to play immediately with us, which could have been a good thing for him. But if you take back and study us while you're waiting to play. Now, a lot of players don't do that, especially he's a first-round pick. I mean, we get it, one of the top picks in the draft. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. But when I heard that, leave the Posse alone. You go into the season, no, it's us three. Well, we'll bow out when it's time to bow out because we're that way. If we're not balling, take me out the game. I don't have a problem with it. We still balling though. So leave us alone. Go work with something else. Go talk to some other people. But leave those three receivers alone because that slot was done. And you saw as soon as I left went to Phoenix, there was never the same again. I mean, quite honestly, we've had some good receivers in Washington since we left. But with Terry, you have a great receiver in Washington since we left. Just same type of player and kind of got a little bit of all three of us in one. So hopefully next year, Terry will be back fully healthy, ready to go and get it done. And, the Commanders will be back in the hunt.
I love hearing you talk about this because now I'm wondering if you or any of the Posse, if y'all have ever even talked about it, do you guys feel like y'all had more to do together? Do you feel like you were able to finish your plate with what the three of you were able to do because of the way that you ended up having to go to Phoenix and the way that things played out?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting to see if we all would have been able to stay together. Because literally, like, after I left and went to Phoenix, Ricky and Art was together one more year, and then that kind of split up. I think Art went somewhere, maybe, I don't know, went to the Jets or Philadelphia. Ricky came to, like, Miami or Atlanta. I mean, something like that. So, and we all just kind of scattered. And their offense, honestly, they hadn't been the same until last year in terms of being a receiving corps that was going to strike fear into your hearts, and I think the Commanders will get that again because they got some they had some really good receivers that they have on the team this year. I think those receivers have the possibility of becoming great receivers as long as they put in the work. What I know with Terry will get those guys together and make sure that they do put in the work so they do become a great receiving core, not just a good receiving core where they are right now.
How hard is it to deal with a year like this? Because you mentioned last year's offense, and we know what that was. That was dynamic. It was incredible, magical moment after magical
I don't know.
Mm.
Didn't really happen to me in Washington. I don't. I don't know. Like, I mean, I think. Don't get me wrong. We had some seasons where we didn't play that well. We had a season. I think we had a season where we went 7-9 or 8-8, something like that. I just think a lot of the players we just didn't stand for it. I mean, we just didn't. You know, and I don't want to be that guy who judges other players, other teams of the burgundy and gold. But you know, the only thing that I would wish that some of the guys wouldn't do is after a tremendous loss, after you just got your butt beat by a team, whether they're better than your team, they're not better than you. I don't get the hugging, and I don't get that. Especially, I mean, I don't. If I had a season like this, I'm not hugging nobody. There should be some type of disruption. There should be some type of conflict that you see happen because you're losing. You're supposed to be mad. There's supposed to be some fighting on the sidelines. There's supposed to be some fighting in practice, trying to figure out what are we doing wrong to help to motivate. Because when you fight your brother, it's out of love for the most part. You're trying to get something out of them. You're trying to get something out of them. They're trying to get something out of me. When I got yelled at when I played, that's because my teammates are trying to get me to play better. I'm not taking it personally because I don't want to fight them. I'm being like, you know what? I got to get my butt in gear. I'm not playing the way that I need to play. I'm not doing my job. So I think next year going into the season, as long as everybody's come to an agreement, we're going to do our job. That's the key. Each person, each teammate, I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. You'll see a different Commanders team, and you'll see them back what they was like last year, the year before, when they was making a run. The key is you want to make a run at the Super Bowl every year, a run at it. So that means you want to get into playoffs all the time. You want to get into playoffs all the time. Even though I played in Washington, we get in the playoffs all the time. We missed it I think 3 years we didn't get in the playoffs while I was there. Out of my 8 years in Washington, there was 3 years we didn't get in. But 2 of those years we went 10-6. We should have got in because 10-6 usually gets you in. Because we got in on 9-7 in '92. With 9-7 we got in. So we're still good football teams. And that was just an adjustment. And we didn't get in as that was Joe's transitioning from a running game to a passing game, where we was pass first, run second. And once we came pass first, run second, we're right back in the playoffs again. It's just an adjustment period that you all go through. Because if something's working, you're going to use it until it don't work anymore, as you should. You're going to use it. Well, I'm going to fix it if it ain't broke, What Joe had the ability to do is once we found out that it was broke, he fixed it. And we have a whole new look. When you have a whole new look, it's hard to stop a whole new look. It just is. And especially when you got guys as arrogant as we were. Like, I need the players to be arrogant. I need them to be arrogant just on the football field. I'm not talking about off the football field. On the football field, you arrogant because you put in the work, you put in the practice, you did the things necessary for you to be a great player. So you can tell your opponent what you're going to do, and ain't nothing they can do about it. I didn't mind telling a defensive back what I was going to do. What are you going to do? You going to stop me? No, that's not going to happen. I like my chances. Did I get stopped sometimes? Yes, but if we're going to go like percentages wise, I'm going to be at least 7 out of 10. I'll take those odds. I'm not trust. I'd rather be 10 out of 10, but I'll take 7 out of 10 because I'm one of those 7s is going to be me scoring a touchdown on your butt. So at the end of the day, I'll take it.
You talk about that attitude and pride that you carried, right? But when I look and I talk to all of you guys, Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, Brian Mitchell, just name all these guys. All of y'all had that innate confidence, attitude, hunger to be the best. Do you see that in today's game? Because when I do talk to y'all, I'm like, man, this just seems so rare to have so many different people, arguably the best at their positions, have this same mentality and being on one accord.
Well, I haven't. You see it on certain teams. You see it on certain teams in the league. Like I've seen Kansas City have it. Kansas City had it for not so much this year, but again, there's those years that you're just not going to be the guy. But for the most part, they've been the guys that they could count on coming back and coming back and coming back. When you come back and come back over and over and again, you got dogs on your team. You got to be a dog. I mean, this is not youth league. It's not high school. It's not college anymore. It's different rules now. Like, I'm not going to be a gentleman on the field. No, that's not going to happen. It's just not. If you punch me, I'm going to punch you back. Or I'm just going to punch you to start with. It's going to be one or the other. Like, I'm playing the game to win the football game. And football was played that way. And when you play it that way, you tend to win more games. I mean, it's just what it is. You have to have, but you can only play that way if you've put in the work to be able to play that way. I mean, you can only play that way if you put in the work. And the Burgundy and Gold, they have some great players on their football team. They really do. It's just a matter of them figuring out a way to make sure that they play together. And that's up to the players. That's 100% up to the players. Like, Coach Gibbs never once had to call a meeting for us all to come together. The players did it. We did it ourselves. We held ourselves accountable. And hopefully the Commanders are holding themselves accountable for what they got to do, because the coaching hasn't been bad. And a lot of people try to blame. I'm like, no, because when I do look at it, no, same coaching strategy. If you don't like the play that's called, you change it. If you don't like the defense that's called, you change it. Because we have that ability to do that. They give us the ability to do those things. That's called being a football player. It's being called to be like, okay, we're going to make sure that we run the right play because we're the players. We're the people on the field. We're there instantly. We know. We're seeing what they don't see upstairs yet. They can do the best they can, but we see it first. So if I don't do my job and let the quarterback know, hey, by the way, I can run this route to get open on this guy because this is what he's weak in. And I'm seeing it in the game. I'm not saying it just throw me the ball. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm saying is over the first quarter, I've seen what this guy's doing. This is where he's weak at. So this is where you need to throw me the rock to, and everybody on our team would do that at the end of the day. And unselfishly, or say Ricky Sanders was having a great game. Me and Art going to told Rick and be like, say, Slick, we're going to take the pressure off of you so you can continue to kill this guy. Whoever they put on you, you are killing them. So continue to kill them so we get this win. Because you want to be the guy, but you also want to win first. Anytime we won a football game, we had no problem celebrating that together. None. Only time you ever seen any of us get upset is if we lost a football game, and then we felt like we weren't utilized the way that we should have been utilized. But anytime we won, nobody cared about any other. I didn't care about Art's stat. Art didn't care about my stats. Ricky didn't care about his. Ricky never cared about his stats. Ricky's just a great guy all the way around. But if we lost and you didn't give us the rock, we had a problem then. That was going to be a complaint. But typically we tend to get the rock the next week. So it was always good.
Hey, Gary, that's why I appreciate your opinion so much and why I've enjoyed being able to do these game day preview shows that we've been able to do this season and seeing you get more into the fold with the media and talking about the team. Because it's one thing for us to talk about it, but you won the Super Bowls. You were one of the best to ever do it. You played with some of the best to ever do it. So I so appreciate your vantage point, and I hope you've been enjoying it too, man. Have you enjoyed getting to do our game day preview shows, which we do every home game from DC Prime? Have you enjoyed being able to put your analyst hat back on and break down the game and look at this game, especially with the way that the team has evolved and changed?
What I really love about it is the people that I get to do it with. That allows me. It's just like when I played. Like, the best thing about football is your teammates. Always has been that way. The best thing about post-football career is my teammates and the new teammates like yourself that I had a chance to work with now. It's all about your teammates that make something exciting to do. For example, if we didn't like each other on the show, we would not want to go do that show. But we do like each other on the show. We love the host staff. We love everybody who puts us together, from the people behind the scenes to the people in front of the mic like yourselves. I mean, it's just a great team that you guys have, and that's why it's enjoyable for me to do it. I mean, because I love the people that are there, and the food's pretty good too.
Hey, man, we eat good, and I'm grateful to just be a part of the team, man. I'm grateful y'all allow me to be a part of it, and we kick it, man. We have a good time there. So, Commanders fans, if you haven't pulled up yet for our DC Prime game day preview shows, that is every week of a home game. We only have one left, Gary, which makes me sad, but I have a feeling they're going to let us run it back and maybe do it every week next year. Gary, we appreciate you so much.
It'd be great if we would.
It would, man. That food is good.
We were doing that, they was winning.
We were good luck for a little bit.
Keep it going.
Gary, we appreciate your time so much, man. Thank you for always being willing to pull up. And, man, can't wait to see you again, Gary. We appreciate your insight. Commanders family, our next man up. Washington legend, one of the best to ever do it. My guy, Gary Clark. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one now.
You too, man. Commanders family, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Next Man Up. Remember, you can stream all of the Next Man Up episodes right now on the Commanders YouTube page or the audio wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for supporting the Next Man Up podcast. You've allowed us to be nominated for not one, but 2 People's Choice Podcast Awards, Best Male Hosted and Best Black Male Hosted Podcast. And that's all because of the best fans in the NFL. I appreciate y'all so much for supporting us. It's crazy to think we're already in season 3 of Next Man Up, and we have a lot more to go. So make sure to subscribe to the Commanders YouTube page so you don't miss any of our content. I'm Brian Coble Jr., and this is Next Man Up.
This show was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.